Very warm welcome and a happy new year to all of you, our community members and participants of today's session, Jan 7th, 2023, in fact. So this is a second session for this year, and this is in continuation from yesterday with the focus of credentialing series with the theme of credentialing for architect success with primary focus on partner ecosystem. So this event is co-hosted with Salesforce admin group as well as Salesforce user group, both from Chennai. So thank you so much for the respective community group for your participation and partnership. So today's session, we are going to have, it will be started with a welcome note by Anand, who is the community leader for Salesforce user group. Then we will give an overview of this accredited professional credential, this newer, relatively newer credentials that Salesforce has introduced. And next, we will have a sub-theme. Today's sub-theme is on Sales Cloud. So sales is money. Why? We will see it. Then we will do a deep dive on one of the Sales Cloud related accredited professional exam. Followed by, we will have a quiz and vote of thanks.
This event is conducted with the joint event with Architect Group and Admin Group. I want to, here we are Architect Group leader Kannan Narayanan and Admin Group leader Batma Segar is also available over here. We all happy to welcome you all for this credential series, and it is time for you to learn about how we are going to utilize this credentials in our career path. So this is the series which is mostly based on the partner learning camp, where you can get the credentials from your employee. If your company is a Salesforce partner, then you can get the credentials from them, and you can do these certifications. It will be helpful for you for all the personas. Like company also get benefited, you also be able to get benefit out of it. So it is a good learning path where you can't get this from Trailhead. So it is an additional benefit where you can deep dive into each products. So that's good information what is available over there. So today is Saturday morning. You all have joined this meeting to get knowledge about these things. Sure, you will be gaining the knowledge about the topics what we are planning to have it. And upcoming sessions, we are planning to have the sessions on the other certification that is available in the Salesforce, not only for the partner learning camp. We are planning to have some more sessions in upcoming month, in February month. We are planning to have at least 2 more sessions on the certification on either topics. So we are planning for that also. And like last year, we are also planning to have a 100 days Salesforce learning program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anand. We will move to the next segment. So next segment, we are going to cover, give an overview about this accredited professional credentials, and we will also follow up with a quick demo of the relevant platform that is out there. Okay. So for those of you who are hearing for the first time this credentials, I want to take a step back and then kind of give a history of the credentialing program in Salesforce, and then how this came out, right? This accredited professional. See, for all along, Salesforce the certification path well over a decade. It started with maybe a few certifications like a developer or an administrator, and then the last 5 years the certification credentialing program really exploded. Partly because Salesforce organically was growing, as well as they were making a lot of acquisitions. Through that, this platform offering was expanding. So there was a need to increase the as the platform is maturing, there is a need to increase the credentialing program. So at this time, there are close to 50 plus credentials, primarily certifications that are out there for everyone to take. However, as this platform was maturing, there was Salesforce have been listening to many stakeholders in this ecosystem, customers, partners, and so on and so forth. So one of the concerns or the needs of the partner ecosystem was that partners, with their nature of providing consulting, implementation, and ISV kind of an offering, they always needed to be a step ahead of the curve, right? Understanding the product roadmap, understanding the product gaps, or a need to fill that the areas that Salesforce perhaps may not be focusing on, as well as on the newer capabilities, wanted to master it as quick as possible, so that partners are able to truly being the custodian as well as the advocates of this platform, and then ensuring that there is higher level of success for the customers who are purchasing and adapting Salesforce capabilities, right? So from that perspective, Salesforce kind of came out with a focused set of credentials only geared towards partner ecosystem, basically the consulting partners and ISV ecosystem, right? So thus came this credential called accredited professional. I mean, you may be wondering why it is not called certification. Just not to confuse or maybe give a differentiation, so Salesforce kind of has named it as accredited professional credential, or simply Salesforce AP credentials, right? So these AP credentials, again, like I said, it's only at this time, it's only open for partners. And what is in it for me? What is in it for us, right? Why should we kind of partners and the practitioners, why should we embrace this particular credentials? Because you already have 50 plus, as I said, right? Certification out there. Why these, right? Number one, as a partner organization, so it influences your partner navigator score, right? So the higher the score that you have as an organization, partner organization, it increases the organization's credibility, so that it automatically acts as a kind of a additional the organization's profile enhancer, right? As they are bidding for many proposals and so on and so forth. For an individual like you and me, it additionally very similar to certification, it additionally further affirms your mastery in that particular subject area, right? And overall, it helps enhance partners maturity and partner ecosystem maturity. Next, okay, now you may be wondering, okay, how many such AP credentials are out there, right? So these AP credentials kind of got rolled out around July or mid of 2021. So about 1.5 years, right? This entire program has been there for the last 1.5 years. But within this 1.5 years, Salesforce partner relations team and the learning team has really went all out and very agile and nimble. And they started with maybe half a dozen accreditation to begin with, but they have been rolling out new accreditations pretty much every month, right? As we are talking now, there is about close to 38, definitely 30 plus accreditations that are out there available, right? So these accreditations are more specifically geared towards each of the clouds, right? Sales, service, marketing, and commerce, so on and so forth, as well as it also has the flavor of industry, whether it is a consumer goods, manufacturing, health, media, communication, and so on and so forth, right? Automotive, and etc. So this is more geared towards those industries as well as products. Okay, so how is it different from cert? I think I already alluded to. AP, this accredited professional, is only for partners. It's only open for partners, whereas certification is open for anyone, everyone, right? And this AP credentials are, unlike certification, if you go to a Trailhead certification page, all the certifications you might be noticing that it's all kind of organized, classified by a role, right? architect, consultant, right, developer, admin, so on and so forth. Whereas these accreditations kind of implicitly it is kind of more classified by product slash industry, right? um, and it again it kind of goes a level deep, in any product or any capability that Salesforce has. And then the idea here is you have to have hands on, at least the expertise to implement that particular product for a customer. So for example, you might have a Sales Cloud consultant certification, but then I mean that is the focus of today's session also anyway. But if you double click and then if you come to accredited professional credentials, there will be specific focused accreditation by product or by capability, right? Something like a Revenue Cloud or something like Sales Cloud Einstein, and so on and so forth. So now we have a new set of accredited professional credential, AP credential. You also need a set of exclusive set of learning, a platform. Thus came this platform called PLC, or Partner Learning Camp. So Partner Learning Camp in many ways is very similar to Trailhead, right? For those of you who have been taking some exams or generally, being active in community, you are very well aware that you go to for any learning that you need to have with respect to Salesforce. One of the authentic learning platforms is Trailhead. You come to Trailhead, you look at the certifications, you look at the modules, you look at the trail mix, you start learning, right? Very similarly, for accredited professional, Salesforce has rolled out a platform called Partner Learning Camp. This Partner Learning Camp, again, very specific to similar to AP, it is only exclusively available for partners only. Okay, so now you may be wondering, how do I get started? Okay, I understand there is an accredited professional, learning exam series is there. There is a Partner Learning Camp learning series is there. How do I get started? Due to the nature of this entire program, it all revolves around partner community, partner ecosystem. First and foremost, you will have to work with your organization, assuming that your organization, you are from a partner ecosystem, partner organization. You would have an administrator within each of your organization, right? So you have to work with your administrator within the organization to get access to partner community. So everybody, as part of your level of partnership, Salesforce kind of a provision, more like a partner. They identify you as a partner org, and then provision you a kind of a area, collaboration area. Also, we call it as partner community area. Within that partner community area, each partner can onboard, offboard their respective employees at any given point of time. And there are many other things, capabilities that partner community offers for both for employees as well as an employer, right? Partner. So you need to kind of work with your organization's, administrator to first get your ID provisioned. That's a step one. I mean, that is the primary one. That is not optional. That is mandatory. Only if you can do that, the next thing you will be able to do is you'll be able to log in to that partner community. And once you log in, from there, it opens up a gate of all possibilities, world of all possibilities, including logging into this Partner Learning Camp and able to take the exam, accredited professional exam, and so on and so forth. And we will also see it shortly via demo. Okay. Miscellaneous things before I move on to a demo. So where do you take the exam, right? So when it comes to certification, you are all familiar that you go to on-site, a physical location, and then you take the exam, or you can also take an exam online, right, at the comfort of your own place. But to do that, you go to a portal called Web Assessor, and then you basically sign up, and then that's how you proceed. Similar to it, in the world of AP, accredited professional, you would have a similar online experience. There is another online test taker portal called Examity, through which you will take exam online. But unlike certification model, here the exam at this time you can only take the exam online. There is no on-site, right, physical exam taking experience. At this time, it is not there. It may change, right? Next question people ask is, okay, I'm taking these exams, okay, these credentials, um, you know, how is it, right? How can I kind of share it with others, and is this credentials shareable, right? Transferable, excuse me, right? As I kind of move from one organization to another organization. Answer is yes to both, right? So when it comes to your certification, you go to Trailhead, and then you do a Trailhead certification verification, and then if you have kind of made it in your profile, you have made it shareable, public view, somebody can kind of come and see all your achievements, right? Accomplishments in terms of certification. Similar to it, here also in the accredited professional, you have another verification platform called Credly. Many of you might be knowing it, Credly, Credly, from where all your accreditations are kind of viewable, and you can also share it in the many of the social professional platforms on your accomplishments. Second thing is, when you decide to kind of move from one organization, one partner organization to another partner organization, you can follow the same steps of kind of getting access to the newer partner employers community, and then you can get your credentials transferred. When you move to a customer based organization, at this time, it becomes not relevant, because this accreditation, because it is geared towards partners, but you don't lose it. It is there, but just behind the scene, you cannot transfer it. But if you cannot choose to move back to another partner organization, you would continue to have access to PLC, and then you can kind of continue to kind of go and take newer exams. You just stop taking the exams, unable to take exam, when you are in the customer ecosystem at this time. See, all these things may change as Salesforce kind of keeps maturing this program also, right? So how much does it cost to take this exam? Very similar to certification. Here it costs about $150 USD. Even the retake exam, as of now, it is about $150. And again, there are voucher programs, but all these voucher programs, as it was in the welcome note, it was alluded to, intentionally Salesforce would kind of have it work for each one of us, work with our respective partner employers to get the vouchers. Or if once you have access to partner ecosystem, when you complete certain learnings, you complete it, and then Salesforce has certain forms that you fill it, they will automatically share the the vouchers directly to you. So unlike, that's a little different, unlike certification program where the vouchers are publicly distributed, here it is directly tied to the partner organization as well as partner employees, once you have been verified as a partner employee, right? So the PLC learning platform has been expanding every day, every week. At one point in time, there were about 200 plus courses that were out, and it is kind of growing further. Okay, now the question will come. So you may be asking, Kannan, you have said that there are about 50 plus certifications, and here you are talking about 38, 30 plus accreditation. How many AP credential one should aspire for, right? I would kind of take an analogy with the Goldilocks rule, right? Not too many, not too less, just right. That right is basically individual, right? For you, based on your career path, your aspirations, and the current work role you are playing, you decide what might be an appropriate number of accreditation that you want to aspire to. We will move on to today's subtheme, which is sales is money, meaning we are going to focus on Sales Cloud focused accredited professionals. But before that, we will also kind of quickly look at for those of you who are may not have worked on Sales Cloud and Sales Cloud area, just to give a high level overview, we will kind of quickly touch upon the capabilities that Sales Cloud covers in the context of Salesforce ecosystem, and then we will kind of jump into the available Sales Cloud related accredited professional exam that are available at this time. Okay, so those of you who have been in the Salesforce ecosystem at least for some time, at least few years, you might be very familiar that the entire the Salesforce, as an organization, and the model kind of started with primarily, as a CRM, and primarily with the focus of sales and service, right? And then from there it expanded to various other areas, right? Marketing or commerce, and so on and so forth. Quite a lot of clouds, right? More than half a dozen, around 9 to 10 different clouds. And with partner ecosystem, with the newer acquisitions, more and more clouds are coming, right? Analytics cloud, integration cloud, and many more, right? Collaboration cloud, to name few, right? So what does then sales cloud entail, right? It is it's in a sweet spot. It sits between what on the left hand side are marketing, right, efforts. On the right hand side, it is like a service, right? Kind of it sits in between, loosely, speaking, right? So sales process entails, in a way, everything from having a qualified prospect, right, kind of a lead, taking the lead all the way through, your sales process, and hopefully convert that lead to, your customer, pretty much, right? At a high level, right? So within that you have various sub processes, right? So whether it is, having that lead, grooming that lead further, qualifying the lead, having the, sales funnel, uh, then having a collaboration within your team, like in the form of account teams, or converting the lead to an account or a contact, additionally with the optionally with an opportunity, right? Then while you are working on opportunity, having various stages, which in turn helps for your sales organization to do a better forecasting, right? Or whether as a over matured, sales organization operating in multiple regions, multiple, product segments, if you wanted to manage it more, in a controlled manner, you wanted to do, in a territory management, right? Or you have quite a lot of products in your organization, so you want to maintain a product catalog, then have a sophisticated way of doing quoting, right? Like a CPQ, you might have heard about it, configure, price, and quote. Once the product has been, sold in the form of quote has been approved, then you have contract, right? Signed contract. Then those sold products become the assets for that particular account, so on and so forth, right? Then last but not the least, you have the reports and dashboard, and analytics. And to top all of them, Salesforce in this context, any organization, not about just Salesforce, but any organization who is kind of doing a sales activity, more helping hand will help, right? Would definitely be an advantage, like a partner, right? That's where this partner ecosystem comes into picture. So when I'm talking in the context of manufacturing cloud or automotive, right, you would have heard about a lot of dealers, right? So there is very, an automotive manufacturer directly, deals with the end customer in selling their, their product, right? They rely on the dealership, right? Dealership network as an example, right? So that is where this partner ecosystem comes. Then you have a partner community, then, so on and so forth, right? So that entails that kind of, right? I hope I would have touched on many of those capabilities of, Sales Cloud. There are some that I might not have touched it, but you get the idea, right? It is anywhere, everywhere, from having a prospect, somewhat groomed to a level that a marketeer kind of hands it over to your sales team. From there, all the way, taking that particular lead through various, sales journey, finally converting it into an actual account, and then selling, booking the sales, right? It's all comes within Sales Cloud. After that, you would have, once you have sold, product has been sold, then service area takes over. You have to service the, your product or services needs to be serviced, right? So you have a Service Cloud, capabilities, and so on and so forth. And then on top of it, you would have a Commerce Cloud. When you are even selling, you needed a, a storefront, so you may have a Commerce Cloud, and so on and so forth. But to keep it very focused for today's discussion, I hope this gives you a view of Sales Cloud sales capabilities. Now, when it comes to accredited professionals, here are at least few exams that touches upon each of these areas. One, um, Sales Cloud Einstein, right? Because analytics is something that is very much incubated. Any activity you do in Salesforce, right? It's more like an Salesforce or a CRM is more about collecting data, and then you need to derive intelligence from enormous data that is out there, right? So Sales Cloud Einstein is one of the accredited professional exam that's out there available. Next is for you as a consultant working with the your customer. You needed to kind of understand the maturity of the organization, the customer organization, so that you can recommend, you can of course number one benchmark, and then you can recommend right level of processes, and then map it to right level of products, right? Whether it is a Salesforce product or adjacent ones. So those areas, right? This is more focusing on your capability and defining the goals, objectives, and then defining the metrics, and then the processes, so on and so forth. More like a consultative mindset is what you do. For that, to validate your mastery on it, you have this sales business excellence. This one, the one at the bottom, right? So you have this particular accredited professional exam. Next one is, so at any given point of time, so when you are working as a partner organization itself, when you are working with Salesforce to sell Salesforce products, right? As like a reseller model, right? When you are engaged in that side of things, there is another credentials that is out there, that's called indirect sales. Last but not the least, the fourth one is the advanced Sales Cloud capabilities, right? So we talked about during the selling, right? We talked about CPQ capability, right? Bundling, advanced product bundling, quoting capability. Then comes the billing capability, right? Combining these two and a bit more, this basically results in a revenue, right? So there is a revenue cloud mastery, right? To verify that mastery, there is a revenue cloud consultant exam that is out there available. So just here is the bird's eye view of all these four exams, what it is, right? These four exams: Sales Cloud Einstein, indirect sales, sales business excellence, revenue cloud consultant. All four exams have varying set of questions when it comes to AP exams, and varying level of passing percentage and different exam duration it is there. Just at a high level, this is a point I just wanted to mention as I was giving you overview initially. Unlike certification, when it comes to accredited professional exam, there's not a set questions. It's not always a 60 questions, right? We are all used to, on the certification world, it is usually 60 and maybe 60 plus 5 questions. Here it varies depending on the product and the depth of the product and the breadth of the product that you got. A number of questions varies, right? The lowest level of question that I have seen so far is 20 questions. The highest level I have seen is somewhere around the 60 plus, I think somewhere around 70, if I'm not mistaken. There was one exam, at least one exam, where it is more than 60 questions, right? But otherwise, an average I have seen anywhere from 30 to 40 for 45 is the normal number of questions I have seen in the common exams. And the passing percentage also varies. There is one exam there where it was below 60%, I think 55, 56, if I'm not mistaken. There was one exam. Otherwise, it's average, it is around in 60s, right? Passing percentage. The exam duration is proportionate to the number of questions you have in the exam. Usually, it is 1.5 minutes per question. So if you have a 30-minute exam, you can expect to see 45 minutes as the duration. That is, in fact, an advantage. Wouldn't you agree, right? Many times, if you have to take an exam, you have to sit for 2 hours. Often, right, we may encounter lack of concentration in between in patches. That usually happens in a longer sessions, right? But that's an advantage when you take an exam here. There are some exams, it is only 30-minute exam. You just spend 30 minutes, and then complete the exam. So that's an advantage.
Yeah, quick question, Kannan,
Yes.
on the credentials, right? Like in Trailblazer, if we get some certification, we see those in the Trailhead. But how about the AP credential? I know it's in Credly platform that you mentioned. So how are we going? Will we be able to link it to Trailhead, or how can we see it in a single profile? Can you help us with
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that question, Niku. At this time, as you already said, yeah, you go to Credly and then you enter your credentials, where you will see one-stop shop, all the credentials, not only for Salesforce accreditation. Credly platform is a kind of unified platform where many other, uh, you know, uh, uh, exam or platforms also, maybe if they are subscribing, you would see uh, credentials in one place, like Agile, Safe Agile, and so on and so forth. Once you have it from Credly, you would have a way to share it
it? Okay.
in professional network. Right?
Mhm.
That's how you can do it. At this time, there is no way, at least as of now, to integrate both your Trailhead certification and Salesforce accredited professional, seeing it all in one place.
Great. Okay. And also one
Thank you.
further question, Kannan,
Hmm.
is that on you mentioned the timings and the number of questions and the pass percentage, right? Will it be there in the exam guide for every AP
Yes,
exam? Okay, great.
absolutely. It is there. Okay. So today's fast path, as part of the sales is money, sales cloud sub theme, we will cover one of the important yet easiest accredited professional exam called Sales Cloud Einstein. So yesterday we already covered that the area of Einstein, and how the exams, about 6 exams, that were kind of divided into base or horizontal, as well as product focused, right? Like a sales cloud, service cloud, and commerce cloud, Einstein. So today we are focusing on sales cloud, and with analytics incubated, overlaid with that. So this is a sales cloud Einstein exam. Okay. So what is this exam? Here is the cheat sheet or a fast path for you. So this is about sales cloud Einstein, and it kind of fits, of course, within the Salesforce platform. And here is kind of my view of how easy or difficult this exam, when we kind of look at it in 4 parameters: preparation time, pass percentage, number of questions, or experience required, right? In the scale of easy, medium, tough. Good news is, none of those 4 parameters kind of come under tough category. Only pass percentage and experience required, in my opinion, comes into the medium category. What do I mean by that is, for you to be successful in taking this exam and then passing it, you need some level of at least 6+ months, right, of sales cloud experience, because this particular exam touches upon some of the sales cloud related capable, like we talked about lead, some of the sub entities, right, lead or opportunity, which we'll touch upon, uh, and so on and so forth. As well as pass percentage, we will look at it. It's not difficult, but at the same time, it is not below 60%, right? So it kind of, it's in a sweet spot. But nevertheless, overall, if you look at it, this exam, if you were to spend focused about 15 hours, and again, it varies plus or minus depending on your again, experience and exposure, you definitely can crack this exam, right? So why this acquiring this credential is important, right? See, at the end of the day, as we talked about, like that Goldilocks rule, right? You need to target the right ones for your own background, experience, and expertise, right? So from that perspective, why acquiring this credential might be important. For number one, right, gone are the days that analytics is kind of considered as a separate project, right? When it comes to Salesforce ecosystem, right? It is always very much part of a layered, very much part of any implementation that you do, right? Whether it is a sales focused or a service focused, or any other industry focused, your analytics, right, is very much integral part of any of the implementation that you do. And That's hence, it is very imperative, one attempts to have this particular credentials, especially if you have Sales Cloud background and you are working on Sales Cloud, right? And the Sales Cloud as such is one of the largest, revenue contributing, the product for even for Salesforce, right? As an ecosystem, right? So you should definitely, consider this particular credential. Okay. So as we always talk about any credential, we also want to talk about any relevant adjacent ones. So one is from a certification side, there is always a Sales Cloud consultant. Some of those basic concepts gets tested here. Second one is any related accredited professional. In fact, there are two, not just one. Service Cloud Einstein, Commerce Cloud Einstein. There are two, but whereas Service Cloud touches upon service area, whereas Commerce Cloud has some sales. I kind of specifically put Commerce Cloud alone here, but otherwise for you to know, there are two other product focused credentials that are out there. Okay, we already touched about it, but then just to kind of reaffirm, how do you take this exam? Online proctored mode. Number of questions you have in this exam is 30 questions. You have to get 66 right answers, which is like about 20 right answers you have to have. Your one-stop shop learning platform is Partner Learning Camp, and it combines Trailhead. So one thing that I also wanted to mention is, as we kind of did a walkthrough of overall Partner Learning Camp, I mentioned about this courses, right? When you go to the courses, when you click the courses indeed has multiple learning capsules. It could be something that is already out there in Trailhead. You simply click that, it takes you from that course. If you click it, it directly takes you to Trailhead through your single sign-on. You can complete the learning. Once you complete it, it gets reflected in under your course in PLC. Also, you may have certain information that is already hosted, self-hosted on the partner learning camp or the partners like a Vidyard, the video hosting platform, etc. All those things are part of your learning syllabus here. In general, tips and tricks, not specific to this exam. In general, if you are to take any online proctored exam, but more specifically any AP exam, these are all things you need to keep in mind. Number one, you need to ensure that the using to take that exam, you need to have a complete administrative access, right? Because during runtime, the portal, exam taking portal, attempts to install certain plugins / extension. So you need to have admin access. Second is, you always rely on certain recommended browsers. These are all the information that is out there in the exam guide and other specific exam overview section. But nevertheless, just to reaffirm, you need to use Google Chrome or Edge. There may be other browsers, but at least these two I have used it consistently, and I have had hiccup-free success. Last but not the least, for any exam, if you just look for any associated partner community, right? Just join those partner community groups, because there is quite a lot of information out there, right? Right from provisioning an org, how easy it is to provision an org. Sometimes they also conduct a certain fastback. Sometimes they also have certain giveaways in the form of vouchers. So all those things, it's always imperative for you to be part of the community. So please do that. In this case, there is a community called Einstein AA for partners and Sales Cloud expert. There are a couple of ones you may consider, joining them. So here are the quick tips and tricks and grip sheet for this particular exam. I would rather, go to a next slide and then cover it. But then this particular segment is anyway, recorded, so you will have it available and you can consume this particular information. You can consume it offline, but we will move on to the next slide. At a high level, the exam has two areas, right? One is it tests your Sales Cloud specific Einstein basics and fundamentals understanding, right? So are you able to have some level of understanding on delivering full Sales Cloud implementation? Are you familiar with all the entities that are part of the Sales Cloud, right? And some of the terminologies that are related to now Einstein, right? Sales Cloud plus Einstein coming together. What are all some of the capabilities as well as the terminology? it tests you. So almost 50%, right? Exactly 50%. 15 questions may come from that area. Next one is a focused area, which is primarily see for many of the or majority of the activity a sales rep would be dealing with is in interaction, right? Interacting, communicating, contacting their internal team as well as customers or prospects, right? So from that perspective, email is one of the important medium that is used. So there are certain capabilities that are out there in Salesforce, like Salesforce inbox, activity Einstein activity capture, and there are some outgoing products like Salesforce for Outlook, etc. So you are tested on those advanced areas, right? 50%. Okay, so here it is at a very high level on that uh, basic and fundamentals. The some of the areas you need to focus on is things like lead scoring, opportunity scoring, and insights. When it comes to account activity capture, when it comes to contact, how Einstein helps to automate the contact, capturing, storing it, and etc. So all those things are sales plus Sales Cloud plus Einstein coming together, right? So these are all some of the areas, just so you know, you are tested on it, right? On top of it, as I said, when it comes to the advanced level, so now you have all this, basic information. How are you going to interact, right? That some of the UX or lightning components that are out there available for you, you are tested on that. Salesforce inbox, I already mentioned, as well as activity, Einstein activity capture. External email integration such as Google, G Suite or Exchange, some of those integration that comes with that, you needed to be aware of it. More importantly here, when it comes to this, you need to know Salesforce for Outlook. Some of you may know it's kind of being retired. So there is a migration path that is available, and you are expected to be aware of it. So as a consultant, you are able to consult with your customers on if a customer is using that older or outgoing capabilities, how you can help customers seamlessly migrate to newer capabilities. What are all the implications? Some of those products are hosted on a different infrastructure like a AWS, right? Some of the security aspects of it, management of data security, PII, some of those, right? You are expected to be aware of it, so you may be tested. In addition to it, in any exam, right, when you do it, you are tested for it because these are all product oriented. So you are tested on what are the license needs, right? What are all the permission sets that are needed? For example, in this case, for you to have Sales Cloud Einstein enabled in your org for your customer, what license you need, what edition, whether can it work in unlimited edition, or can only work on unlimited edition, or can it work on professional, etc., right? You need to know that permission sets and permission set license, right? What are all the permission sets license that are needed, right? And what are all the configuration you need to do? Next thing is, for this particular exam very specifically, is as you know, analytics is all about historical data, right? You have enough historical data, then you can predict the future, right? So there are certain data requirements that are there. What are the limits with any products, right? Especially when we are on cloud and a multi-tenant model, there are always we are always familiar with this concept of limits, right? So what are all the limits that are attached to this particular product, right? Or capabilities? Consideration. What are all the consideration you need to have? How do you authenticate, right? When you have inbox, Salesforce inbox, you have to integrate that or authenticate that with the core Sales Cloud platform, or G Suite, as we talked about, or Exchange. What are the authentication? I already touched about very specific to this for exam, legacy tools, legacy capabilities to new capabilities. You need to be aware of it. Last but not the least, Einstein Analytics app, right? Or Tableau CRM Analytics, right? That is very much part of this exam. Also, this product also. So you are expected to be aware of the product, capability when it comes to the readily available dashboards that is given by Tableau CRM. So with all this, if you are able to have familiarity in all these areas, you are expected to come out successfully attending this exam. So good luck with this exam. Okay,
Okay.
Over to you, Anand, to conduct today's quiz.
Third, Bakri.
Badri is third position. Srini, wonderful second.
Second. And the first place is going to Supriya.
Okay. Supriya is first. Congratulations, all of you, Badri, Srini, and Supriya.
I want to thank Kannan for giving this nice and informative sessions. And I also want to thank admin team also for doing their contribution on participating this as a co-event, co-host things. And especially I want to thank all of you for joining this event in the Saturday. It is showing you the interest of learning. So we want to thank you all for your support and the encouragement you are giving to us. So we want to thank you all once again and the speakers and all the sponsors. Thank you.